You're listening to the Gymnastics Marketing Podcast, where we firmly believe that marketing your gymnastics club doesn't have to be that difficult. Gymnastics marketing gurus from Creatively Disruptive will teach you everything you need to know about marketing your gymnastics club. It's time to learn from the experts. If you're ready to dig in and take your gymnastics club to the next level, you're in the right place. Here are your hosts from Creatively Disruptive and gymnastics gym marketing experts.
Yep. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Gymnastics Marketing Podcast. We are joined here with a super special guest. I know I say that every time, but we're really excited to have Nicole on the podcast today. Nicole is an amazing client of ours at Creatively Disruptive and a friend of our team. So we are super excited to get her on here and learn a little bit about how our marketing efforts have been helping her. So Nicole, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So why don't you kind of tell our viewers what just happened before we jumped on?
Very typical of my life lately. We were about to start the call and I couldn't really connect with you right away because I got 4 leads that came in like the 5 minutes that we were getting ready for this meeting.
I love that. What an amazing segue into this podcast. Cool. So Nicole, why don't you jump in, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got involved with our Creatively Disruptive community, and tell us about your business.
Okay, so I am a owner of 3 businesses in the gymnastics industry. The way that I connected with Creatively Disruptive was I was at the GAT convention, which is Gymnastics Association of Texas. They do their own Congress type thing. And so Precision and my other company, My Gym Judge, had a booth there. And I was also presenting some various lectures for coaches and judges there. I met Andy, and Andy told me that when he was explaining his business that, basically we do Facebook marketing. And I said, well, so do I. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I put ads or I put posts on Facebook. And he's like, no. That's not exactly what we do. So, he explained, what Creatively Disruptive does and the lengths that they go and the research that they have done to market gymnastics clubs. And I was amazed at the knowledge that he had and the impact that they had. But I was like, well, I'm not a club owner, so that's cool that you do that. But, okay, next topic. Anyway, he contacted me a little while later after the convention and said, hey, how can we help you get bigger? And I really didn't think that they could because it's for gymnastics clubs. And you guys took it on as a challenge to figure out how to market what it is that I do. And what it is that I do is through Precision, we provide different services for athletes, coaches, and parents. So for the athletes, we provide choreography services. We travel around. I have a bunch of different contracted choreographers around the country. We go into different gyms and we choreograph the athletes. We do custom training camps. So there'll be a group of us that will travel to different gyms and we run our training camps, which is a combination of coaches education and athlete experience. And then we also do parent seminars in the process. So not a club owner. And so I took on the challenge as well. And I was really curious to see how this well-oiled machine was going to adapt to what I do. And they did. I would say the hardest part, and this is not a bad thing, was the amount of time that I spent on the phone with Jessica discussing the business. And the amount of time spent was extremely well spent because did she try to understand what it is that we do. And she did. And it was funny because some of the questions she was asking, I'd never thought of before. And so it made me think about my business, things about, target audience and who is it really that you're trying to help and who needs to hear this message. And so that was really amazing for me. If I had never even gone forward and had Creatively Disruptive run the ads, it was beneficial for me to just have these conversations with Jessica and realize the things that I needed to be thinking about with my own business. So then after many, many long conversations, they came back with some proofs and I was kind of blown away because I really didn't think that anybody would understand the message that I was trying to send. Like I didn't know how that was going to get out of my own head, and it did. I saw it, on the screen. So that was really great. Usually with Precision, we are really, really busy from May to August. And during that busy time of actually doing our services, we're also booking our services. So it's all kind of happening at once. Well, what happened this past year, which was really great, was that by January, we were booked through August already. So we didn't have the issue this year where we were traveling all around the country doing all this work and trying to get people booked at the same time. They were booked ahead of time. So we actually got to plan, take some time to, put even more effort into the planning of the events and then attend them. So that was really nice. So yeah, by January, we booked through August. By mid-February, we were booked all the way through November.
Wow.
So long story short, they figured out my business. They figured out how to market it, and it worked.
Wow. That's pretty cool. So can you kind of walk us through what this lead generation system looks like for your business? Because I know a lot of the other gym owners who are listening, it'll be a similar, a similar system that we have for all of our gymnastics gyms that we have for our clients, that we teach in the Gymnastics Marketing Academy, that we share in the group. So can you kind of walk us through what that lead generation system looks like for your business and how those leads come in and how you follow up with those leads?
Mm-hmm. So I just want to throw in there, we've got a second campaign going on for my gym judge right now also. So there's kind of two different places that I'm coming from. But with Precision, so I am the owner of Precision, whereas the other companies I have co-owners. So there's a little different approach there. For Precision, we get an email that just says very basic information. Somebody's interested, you've received an inquiry, and it's got their basic info. I'm able to contact Jessica or Hannah and say, hey, do you think you could add a field for such and such? I think that might help me get a little more insight. So that's been really great. So if I get a lead and it's got, their name, their state, their club, and I realize, oh, you know what, I actually need a phone number for this campaign, or I want to have an extra space just for general comments, just in case they want to tell us something. So that's been nice to be able to, as we go, kind of structure once I get in a groove of the information that I'd like to get. And then from there, it's up to me. I mean, I don't want anybody else, booking my clients except for me and the people that work for me. So as far as I'm concerned, that Creatively Disruptive handed me on a silver platter people that are interested in what it is they want to do. And now it's my job to book them. So I learned a really long time ago with my business that my personal strength is on the phone with people or face-to-face talking to people. And this was before I used any sort of marketing company. So when we would get leads before just from the website, I would email them back because I thought, oh, everybody deals with email. So I'd email back and give them information and then kind of wait and see if they want to book. And I think I had maybe 50% booking rate from our initial inquiries when I was doing it that way. And then I noticed that every once in a while I would end up calling the person, and it usually had to do with something like the email address didn't work, or there was something quirky about what they had submitted, so I wanted to clarify. What I noticed is that every time I spoke to somebody on the phone, it was almost 100% that they booked. So I was like, oh, that's the thing there. So we switched to everybody gets a personal phone call as soon as they submit. And that changed our conversion rate to, we're like 92 or something, incredible. So that was really powerful to learn. So now with this experience with Creatively Disruptive, I know that now. So when we get a lead, there's a phone number field. There's even a good time to call field. And the first thing that happens is that I make that direct contact and have a conversation so I can figure out exactly what they need, because we have a lot of services. And then from there, I'm able to then go back into email communication, because after the phone call, they're either, they've pretty much decided if they're going to book or not. So then the emails are the next steps of actually booking. It's not trying to sell anybody on anything. I've answered all their questions. So that's our process. They submit a lead. I do the phone call. I figure out which direction to lead them in to continue the booking. With my gym judge, I co-own that company with Chelsea Memel. So we've kind of got the company split. So what's been really great with the Creatively Disruptive ads is that they have designed two kind of tracks of marketing. So we've got one track that's geared toward coaches, one track that's geared towards parents. And then we've, between ourselves, divvied it up. If it's a coach, then I'm going to make the call, help them get set up with virtual judging. If it's a parent, it's more likely they're going to want to do written feedback. And so Chelsea will connect that way. So bottom line is, looking at your team and figuring out what everybody's personal strengths are, who's got the best ability to talk to clients, to sell your business, and put them in that position. And it's not always going to be the owner. And maybe many times it's not the owner that's going to be the best on the phone talking to clients. Maybe they're better in the background. But, I would say look at your team, look at who's on your bus, and figure out who needs to be in that seat. And I'm totally stealing that from Jim Collins from Good to Great. But, that's the thought process there. You probably got somebody on your team that's really good speaking with clients. So have them be that first point of contact.
Right, for sure. So previously, before, when you were kind of dabbling in your own Facebook marketing and kind of doing your own thing, how many leads would you normally receive on a monthly basis?
It depended on the time of year. And that's what's so interesting now. It is, where are we? October?
October.
It's October. And I got 4 leads when we started this phone call. And normally it was pretty darn slow. Maybe a couple a month between October and April. Mm-hmm. Really, really slowing down. And then we'd be, kind of picking up again when summer was happening. And I think people are viewing us as an off-season services company. And now they don't, because of the way that the marketing has been presented. So yeah, it's huge. We're getting the amount of leads that we would get in an entire summer in probably a couple weeks of what used to be an off-season.
Wow, that's great. So let me ask you this. If you ran into a gymnastics gym owner this week at a coffee shop and they knew what you were doing, with your lead gen and your business, what's the one thing you would tell them to definitely take advantage of, or even not do, to make sure that they're moving the needle forward for their gym?
Just be ready for it. There is a gym owner, and she's going to know that I'm talking about her, but it's a compliment. Her hesitation with moving forward with hiring a marketing company at all, and then, with Creatively Disruptive, is that she wanted to make sure that she had things in place so that when those leads came in, she could handle them. Mm-hmm. And that would be my biggest piece of advice is it does work. It's not, every industry in the world, uses marketing companies. So this is not a new thing. It does work, but you have to work it also. So when those leads come in, have a system in place and be ready. Who's going to talk to the person? What's the follow-up process? That's a marketing company doesn't do that for you. That's your business does that part of it. You have to, be ready for that. So I would just say, yeah, have a plan in place and assume that you're going to get many leads. Mm-hmm. And you're probably not the only gym in town either. And that's another thing to remember. Once the lead is in your hands, it's in your hands, but it's not hot for very long. They contacted you because they're interested. People move on really quick. So if you're not able to connect right away and have a system in place to accommodate them, they could be at your competitor. So.
Very good. Love that. So Nicole, where can people find out more about you and your business?
We are, we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're on social media, Precision Choreo. That's PRECISION CHOREO. So that's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And that is where you can find information on choreography, our custom training camps that we do for men and women's gymnastics. We do custom workshops too, on artistry, on performance, technical aspects as well, coaches clinics, and then also My Gym Judge. That's MYGYMJUDGE. And we provide feedback on routines, whether it's written, virtual, or in-house workshops. It's feedback as well as tactics on implementing corrections to get scores higher. And my third business, I didn't really get to talk about because we just didn't get there, is called Like a Champ. And that is co-owned with Alicia Sacramone. That is event-specific workshops that are designed by Alicia and with creative directors that are either world or Olympic champions on that event. So Like a Champ, My Gym Judge, and Precision Choreo.
Very cool. And we will link these below in the show notes. And for anyone who is not already in the gymnastics marketing group, make sure you take advantage of the free training. We have over 1,500 gym owners in that group. So just be a part of this amazing community. Nicole is in there as well. So if you have any questions specific to anything you learned today, tag Nicole. She's in there. And we are all there to help answer any questions that you have. So thanks so much, Nicole, for jumping on with us, and we'll see you in the group.
Thank you so much, guys.